Welcome to Stress Mess, a stressless podcast where the chaos is real, the caffeine is strong, and swearing sometimes happens, and that's okay. I'm Samantha Elizabeth, health and wellness coach, chronic overthinker, and proud BFFs to stress itself. Here we're ditching perfection, embracing unfiltered real talk, and making mindset shifts that might just keep us from screaming into the void. Let's get messy. Before we jump into today's episode, a quick note. This conversation was recorded a little differently than usual because I am not in the Stress Mess studio. We're actually recording live from Eric's house, which made the conversation feel a little bit more relaxed and conversational. In this episode, Eric and I talk about generational differences, the shift towards an experience economy, and why it's important to actually enjoy life instead of constantly feeling like we have to be productive. As you'll hear, we wander into a few unexpected rabbit holes along the way, which is very on brand for Stress Mess. All right, let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stress Mess podcast. I'm Samantha Elizabeth, as you know, and I am here with Eric. I don't know why I'm being so formal about this because I'm never really formal about it. I just go into like this podcast mode where I'm like...
It just feels more like...
Hello, everybody.
Well, that's why. That's also why you like... get dressed before you start your work, even though your work is 15 feet away from your sleep.
No, I wear one or two things. One is I wear my pajamas.
To work?
Yeah. I'm talking about like in the morning, it's like coffee, right? And then I wait 5 minutes for my coffee to cool down. So I set my little timer for that. Or I'm in workout clothes because I'm going to work out sometime during the day. So a lot of times when I'm meeting with clients, now, hold on. If I am meeting with clients, though, I actually do take a shower, do my hair, my makeup, yada, yada.
But what about, like, just getting into the, like, kind of cosplaying for work? Like, you're like, okay, here's my character of work. I'm going to do these things, whether it's clothes or makeup or whatever. Like, it gets you into that mindset for it.
I don't know if I need to dress a certain way to get into that mindset. I actually feel a little bit more productive when I am wearing my workout clothes, because as a health and wellness coach, I also feel like I'm geared towards that. I mean, but of course, I do more than just health and wellness coaching. I do consulting too, and part of my consulting is, I do wear like a nice dress shirt, type of thing. I put on pants, You
put on pants.
Well, sometimes
you're not Donald Duck.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy just...
Or Winnie the Pooh, right? That's what I call it, Winnie the Poohing. But, I mean...
You're going to attract the totally wrong SEO here.
Oh my God. Does that mean something?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. There's some things that, like, I don't know, too. And, like, people will say it, and I'm like, I don't think I want to Google that.
Yeah. So, okay.
Anyway, hello.
So,
what would you like to talk about today?
I think just some of the things that I feel like I'm trying to understand about my kids' generation. So I have like a 17 and a 15-year-old.
Okay. So this is not Alpha, Gen Z.
Z?
Gen Z.
They still 6, 7 things, but...
Yeah, so that's Gen Z.
See, now,
hold on one second.
I just got you like 200 more views. I didn't do the hand motion, though. But...
Yeah.
Okay, so trying to understand the way they spend money and want to enjoy things. Okay. And then also comparing that to my parents too. Okay. Because my mom right now she's like super frugal and like even just yesterday was like, hey, why are you throwing away this perfectly good packaging that came in a box for stuff? You could use that to pack your own things in the garage or whatever. And I'm like, well, I get, 5 of these every month, So it's that kind of thing. Like, and then my kids want to buy the Minecraft dollars and that was probably like 10 years ago, but now the other day I spent over $40 on 3 rocks because they were aquarium rocks. So they don't have the limestone in them or something that most rocks in Texas have that can make the water more acidic and then kill your fish or something.
I see.
But I still spent like $47 on rocks, and I'm like, I feel like that's dumb because
there's a rock outside.
Yeah.
Just to pick
So,
up that.
you know, I feel like the way that it's been described previously that I've heard of too is like back in the day, back in the like 1900s, right?
Yeah.
If you wanted to have a birthday cake, you had to like get all the ingredients and make it yourself, right? You had to go get eggs from the store, or more than likely there wasn't even a store. You probably had to go find your neighbor and go gather.
Right, you had
stuff.
to go trade or something like that. Yeah.
But 50 years ago, you would go to the grocery store and get your stuff, and then probably 25 years ago, you probably got the box mix or whatever. But since then, it's been increasing more in how it's more of the experience economy.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's not just here's a cake, which you can get at HEB and Sam's. Yep. You can get cakes everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's also the experience of now, are you going to a Top Golf? Are you going to Chuck E. Cheese? Like, depending on what your demographic is.
Yeah.
But it's all like doing these experiences where my parents, I don't think, understand that. And they won't go look for experiences.
Yeah.
They would rather be like, you could put $5,000 in the gold market and it'll give you $7,000 in 10 years.
Right.
And so I feel like that causes some angst.
Well, yeah, I mean, then also like making sure that it's a good experience. By the way, experience, you're speaking my language, because I'm an experienced consultant. But
also we go to a bunch of stuff that like I was watching, for example, on Undercover Boss last night on YouTube.
Yeah.
Guy from Norwegian Cruise Lines. He's the CEO.
What's his name? Do we know?
Kevin Sheehan, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know how long ago this was.
Okay.
But they like have as one of their things on this boat that you can do, it is an ice skating rink. And these 3 people spend like 45 minutes getting these panels out that are like 8 by 12 feet.
Okay.
And like 200 of them and laying them together and pounding them together. It takes them almost an hour. And these things are like 40 pounds a piece.
Okay.
And not one single person came to use this thing. And they have to take it apart again. And it was one of those things that in a boardroom it sounded cool. Like, oh, cool, you can, and it's not even ice. It's like this slippery plastic that and it's like, so people think, wow, this is a really cool offering that we want to have for your business. But then it's underutilized and not used the same way. And it takes so long to put together. And it's like, why do you even do it? So
it happens all the time. Like, as an experienced consultant, one of the things is that our leadership was like, we want people to focus on quality. So we sat around a room and figured out, like, how do we want people to, and not just like, the active quality or quality checks or quality auditing. We wanted people to be able to articulate how quality was actually driven within their job. So like, did they do quality checks or, anyway. So we came up with this idea. It was really popular at the time, or actually I went to a conference and there was this wall of, that said, before I die. And like everybody put down, like, what did they want to accomplish before they died? And I got that idea and I thought, you know what? We're going to do a wall on each of our offices. Now we had 26 offices around the world. We're going to do a wall that says quality is, dot, dot, dot. And then people are going to contribute. And so I had given people prompts and I had given all of this and I got like a week later, I got pictures from all of the sites saying, this is how utilized our wall is. And there was probably like 1 or 2 people that actually contributed to it. And mind you, there's hundreds of people that work at these sites. And it was like kind of embarrassing, to see that nobody could, it's either they couldn't think of like what quality was, or they thought like, well, this is dumb.
Well, Or you see the opposite version of that too, is like, this is a long time ago. It was in the early Twitter era.
Yeah.
2012 maybe, something like
Before
that.
it was X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NYPD launched a hashtag that was like NYPD in your neighborhood or something. Like they wanted like warm, cuddly, like here's police in our communities and helping people, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And instead people tweeted like people getting like frisked or like profiled or yeah, exactly, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so when you have those types of campaigns, you also have to think about, you know, what's like the backup plan. Is there a plant? Can you tell 3 people a week to go do something like
seeding? Yeah, that's what they call it, you know, seeding. Like when you do. So yeah, I mean, the people that contributed to the Quality Is walls were the people that I asked like to go put something up there, and I gave them the prompt. So it wasn't like there was any forethought to that. And it does stink, like when you put something together and you put together an effort like that and you're expecting to see, I mean, because when I was at that conference and that wall that had "Before I Die," there wasn't even room where you could write something. I mean, it was just like, oh, where am I going to put this? And like, oh, I found like a little spot. I'm like, "Before I die," you know. Speaking of which, you know, now I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. I mean, don't answer the Quality Is question, but I'm thinking like, what are like things that you want to do? I mean, before you die.
Well, so I feel like that kind of, those are like the big questions.
Yeah.
But even the small little bits of things, I feel like I've been trying to enjoy more.
Okay.
Because like I've always been one of those people that's like, don't light candles. They're nice because, you know, you want to save them for when you want to relax, or when you feel fancy, or when you take a bath, or when you're cleaning and you want to, you know, like I probably burn candles twice a year.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And
means like 0 times a year, because I'm always like, I'm going to save that for Christmas. And then Christmas rolls around and oops, I forgot. I absolutely think that you're right. So
I feel like on the small scale of life, like have some dessert.
Yep.
And eat the good cheese and the charcuterie board. And my ex-wife took all of my plants when she left, basically.
Yeah.
I have one plant that I had. And so in the last 2 months, I got a few more and started trying to get little pieces together. So it's like, it's a thing that I would like. You know, I've been able to pay off some bills and things, and I'm like, I'd like to have some plants. But also at the same time, I feel bad because my mom's been helping me out a lot in the last couple years, and I know she's very like, don't spend money on anything.
Frugal.
Like, yeah.
My parents are completely frugal as well too. I mean, although my mom will sometimes just like splurge on something, like something random, you know, and but most of the time it's, you know, ooh, you know, got to tighten our belts, you know, and that's how I kind of grew up, is, you know, that, and in fact, it was kind of embarrassing because, there was a time, and I can't remember, studying some kind of world history or something like that in school, as you do. And I remember there was a question about World War III that came up. And I'm not a student to talk in class. I'm a little bit introverted. But I stood up and said that it was World War III because that's what my mom told me, as an excuse of why we couldn't spend money, because we were rationing as a state, as a country, you know, because, you know, like that's what they did, of course, you know, back in World War II is, you know, the rationing, and, you know, all the resources went to that. I thought we were in the middle of World War III. I mean, it was the middle of the Cold War. I mean, but that's legit, but it was not World War.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, you know, because I was told, and, you know, I believed it, obviously, you know, because as you believe your parents. But that's how I always kind of lived, is the whole rationing, you know, type of thing, and, you know, staying frugal and stuff like that. And everybody knows in the podcast, I did a podcast on this, and my word of the year for 2025 was abundance, which means I lived in abundance, that, I had an abundance of things, even though I didn't always have an abundance of things. But, that's something that I never really experienced, as a child, is abundance. So my parents, even though they don't need to, still have that kind of mindset, that whole like, oh, we need to be, careful, and, we need to, make sure, that we've got the reserves and things like that. But then, like I said, then all of a sudden it's like splurge, So.
I wonder also, like, because I've seen a lot of like fast fashion stuff is what I was thinking too. Like a lot of people are also, I feel like there's a lot of very specific stores now online, on Shopify, on wherever.
Yeah.
And it's like there's all these stores that bubbled up that basically are just, I'm sure, shipping containers of stuff coming over from overseas.
Yeah.
And they're trying to satisfy all these, all these people, but where's that quality too? Like,
you're talking about like Five Below and
not
Top
only
Shelf,
that, but even on just
or
like
Temu and things.
But I even have all these different stores that like show up on my Facebook, and they have these ads that are like, get your, I don't know, like festival fit. It's like,
okay, festival fit. Yeah, like what kind of festival? Music festival. Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess I'm not hip, I don't know. I don't know.
But like, then there's like all of this stuff. Like, I feel like in the past it was pretty much you kind of trusted pretty much all the stores at the mall.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you bought their stuff online, and then some of the stuff is even on Amazon now. I saw Aeropostale on Amazon. I was like, that's interesting.
Because there's a lot of things on Amazon. And in fact, actually, when I see an ad for something, a lot of times I'll go and see, is it on Amazon? Because I don't know if I trust to actually buy it directly from their website. I probably would rather buy it from Amazon because that's obviously a trusted seller to me.
Well, you already have all the like, all your private info in one place. You don't have to give it to someone else.
Right. Yeah, it's like spreading your information out, like you just don't want to do that.
Okay, so things I want to do before I die.
Yes, let's hear it.
I think I want to travel more.
Okay. Where do you want to travel to?
I've never been to Europe.
Oh. Where would you want to go in Europe?
I don't even know.
Okay.
So my dad's dad passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I was putting together his kind of memorial service video.
Okay.
And I saw all these different pictures of when he traveled, like all over Europe, and like Great Wall. And
oh wow, that's so cool.
Paris, and he's got like all these he's got pictures and like the big wooden like clogs and stuff. And it's like, so it was like
in Holland.
Yeah. And so it was like, I was like, that's really cool. Like, I've never been able to experience that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I've been to Taiwan a few times. I've been to Mexico, Canada, but like, that's about it. So I think it's been really interesting opening up more to more experiences, I feel like.
Sure.
So I started working at a church, and I hadn't gone to church in over 20 years, pretty much.
Yeah.
And this church, they had the Scott Joplin Chamber Orchestra, which is basically a historically all-black orchestra, come play for MLK.
Okay.
And there was a reader that was also reading, and there were solos. There was a whole concert of like, half a dozen songs. It was a really great performance, and just like being able to experience that kind of thing was really just amazing. That I've never been able to think about before.
Right.
I never thought. I just thought this like a couple weeks ago was working at this church. It is the oldest congregation in one place in Houston.
Oh,
since
wow.
1839. It's before Texas was even a state.
How big is the congregation?
I think they say 2 to 3,000 membership, something like that.
Okay, but like how many active usually on average gets to like a Sunday service, like the big service?
Well, there's 5 different services, so
Okay.
it's like it's really spread out.
Okay.
So I wouldn't even know, but we also do have like live streaming and all that kind of stuff too.
Okay.
So, but I thought about this a couple weeks ago that every Sunday night there's a worship service that is based on traditional Celtic English and Scottish like hymns.
Wow.
They have a live harp player and a cellist and a flautist.
Okay.
And a singer. So the 4 of them conduct the live music in this historic sanctuary, and I get to sit there and like have a almost private like concert every weekend.
Yeah, and I bet the acoustics in that place is great.
It's okay. But it's like it's really like amazing, like just amazing.
Normally,
yeah.
Like a church has great acoustics. You know, you can play the organ. It's just like
the organ. This organ too is something amazing. It's got like I forgot how many it's like 18,000 pipes or something, and they've had to be refurbished before, and there's so many different it's like a very historic organ. But anyway, my point in that being I get to enjoy these experiences. I feel like that are kind of I feel like a lot of people, and maybe I get this from my parents too, I feel like is a lot of you don't have time to waste on enjoying things because you have to be productive. Right? So it's like, don't play video games. That's not productive.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, I was on AOL as a like chat room monitor or something like that.
Yeah.
In like 5th grade or something, 6th grade, or homework help. I did homework help. Yep. I started I was an e-zine dating columnist in like middle school. So it's like all these things I've always been like productive, but I've never been able to like enjoy some of those experiences. I feel like people need to stop and enjoy at some point.
I completely agree. I have a really hard time reading books or spending any time that I don't consider productive. What was your first job?
I worked at Montgomery Ward at Willowbrook Mall.
Okay.
I was like 6'10". It was like one of those old department stores.
Okay. So it was like a Dillard's
and shoes. Yeah.
Okay.
And not super, I mean, it wasn't like top tier level either.
Okay. All right.
It was like JCPenney and like that kind of thing. I feel like Dillard's and Foley's and that kind of stuff is one level, and I feel like Montgomery Ward, JCPenney, and Sears is like,
where's Macy on this?
Macy's is top, right? Foley's, well, I guess there's like ultra premium.
But I'm thinking
there's like Bloomingdale's
and that sort of thing. Yeah.
But like I feel like your standard mall.
Yeah.
Your regular there's a mall in I don't know wherever. Usually will not have a Nordstrom or a Saks or something.
True.
But so it was a Montgomery Ward.
You were 16, Montgomery Ward. What was that like? What was that experience like?
I mean, it was I don't know. I mean, it was like I remembered hating to like the they would have these like clearances.
Okay.
And all the shoes and boxes and lids would end up in a huge pile in the middle of the floor.
Oh, yeah. There were lots of cleanup.
And
I worked at Ross.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, Ross was smart because they got rid of boxes at some of them.
Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean,
they just put them up on the.
When I was there, but no, the thing is that like, people don't respect Ross like whatsoever. So there's clothes everywhere. Even when and this is a silly thing too, because I guess it's because I worked in retail for so long in my teenage years, and then I got a serious job, and then I started working in offices since then. But the one thing is that people don't respect retail like whatsoever. And like the person behind the counter and everything is making barely enough money, to survive.
and they expect that person to be like, hello, sir, how can I serve you? But the thing is that Ross especially, I don't know what it is, but you walk into a Ross and there's things disarrayed all the time. When I'm in a store and I see something like that needs to be put back on the hanger, or perhaps somebody had taken something off the shelf and you need to bring the product forward.
I think it's strategic. I think it is, like, for example.
What do you mean strategic? Like at Ross,
if it's a little bit messy, it looks like you're getting a better deal,
no,
and you have to go
hunt
as a
worker
down.
Of Ross. It's just because people would toss things around, and you would constantly having to pick up after them. It was just ridiculous because it was you cannot keep up on it.
But I think that part of it is strategic.
It would take us like 2 hours every night to clean to clean the place, and it was just kind of annoying. So I know as a customer at places, I restock the shelves when I can. If I see something out of place, like, oh, hey, it's down, here, or it belongs over there, I move it. I'm constantly like kind of cleaning up as I'm shopping. And it's only because I understand what it's like on the other side as a worker that at the end of the day, like when you're closing up, sometimes you just want to go home. But you have to clean everything up. You have to when I worked at Blockbuster, it was the same way. There was just so much cleanup at the end of the night that, especially on Friday and Saturday nights, and we would close at midnight. We'd be there until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to finish cleaning up the store. And I know they say like, oh, clean up as you go. So at the end of the night, you just have to do the little things. No, you are literally cleaning up, and it was the same thing with Ross. It was hard to keep up with how many customers, especially that you had in there. And I'm sure it's the same thing with Marshalls and, all Home Goods, all of that, those kind of places.
But I'm saying like they could have had 3 times as many employees, but then you're paying a little bit tiny,
So
that kind of thing.
Here's the thing about Ross. Now, oh my gosh, I'm going to give away secrets about Ross. But when I worked there, mind you, this is a million years ago. But when I worked there, the one thing is that they had a manager that sat in the office, okay? They had one person in the fitting room, one person doing stocking, one person at the cashier. So you had like 4 people in the store at one time. And the funny thing is that like the line would get so long for that one cashier. Who are you going to call? You're going to call the fitting room person? No, there's people needing to use the fitting room. Managers sitting in the office because they have to do all their paperwork and everything. And
I feel bad for these like Dollar General people. Half the time I feel like there's one person in the building. I'm like, if that person has to go pee, do they have to go like lock the front door? Like,
yeah, I mean, I've had it happen before, where I've been the only one, working, and it's like, if you have to pee, you hold it, it's just like how it is. But it was just, but yeah, like it would used to be a joke at Ross, like when somebody would say, hey, can you open up another register? And you're sitting there like as the cashier and you're like, it was always the joke. We'd always get on the intercom and say, Bertha, like we would call out Bertha. Like there's no Bertha in the store, but Bertha was the code for, I don't know what to do, basically.
But what about, I went to TJ Maxx the other day and they had like 15 registers and a good number of them were open. Like there was a line.
Okay, but TJ Maxx might be doing it right. Ross, no, I'm sorry. And I don't know how it is today. Mine, like I said, that was a million years ago when I worked there. But that's how it was. It was like we were short-staffed all the time.
So I would say, going back to life goals, is to experience as many different kinds of experiences as possible.
Okay.
Maybe.
That's great.
Like traveling, eating food, like even just really, I feel like, like right now I don't go concerts much or like museums
so
or like showing. Yeah, like someone mentioned something about Asia Society Houston. I was like, oh, well, they've been there for a while now, and I still haven't been. One of my friends hasn't been to the Manila, and that kind of thing. So I can definitely go, especially with people that haven't been. So I think experiencing. I feel like there's a lot I'm experiencing too, just even scrolling sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Or
these
you're opening,
languages
yeah.
or music,
Mm-hmm.
or I've heard some amazing like tribal chanting,
Yeah, yeah.
or there's like Irish like traditional harmonic singing
Mm-hmm.
like, so it's like all these different like amazing things that you can see.
Yeah.
But also, what are all those like real world versions of? I think that's why we like, fair, like Ren Fair too. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a different way to go hang out with people
Mm-hmm.
and relax.
Well, part of it is that you're putting on a new persona.
Mhm,
You're not
mhm,
always yourself there. So that is another experience or exploratory thing yourself
mhm,
too, is that you are pretending you're somebody else, and you're kind of putting yourself in that other person's shoes, and it's you like under the mask or under the garb, or, some people say costume, it's garb, but that sort of thing. Like it is you, but you're putting on a mask, and that also creates problems too. Because when somebody puts on a mask, they can hide behind that mask and they can act a certain way. That's really hard for other people too, because they're seeing their loved one act a certain way. That might not be what they deem appropriate. I'm just talking from experience. So it's.
But I feel like there's so much there that's like, where else can you ride an elephant? Or
Yeah.
even, see an elephant on the weekend.
Right.
Or
That's true. I don't think they have the elephant there anymore.
Really? What about jousting? There's not that many places.
Right. You can't. Yeah,
so
they have
still
the jousting, and of course.
And Sherwood's just around the corner too, right? Like it's
Sherwood's happening. As of this airing of this podcast and everything, it's already would have started. But
okay.
Yeah, it's starting at the end of this month, happening for like until the end of April or something. But anyway, but yeah, fair is fun because you get to kind of break free from who you are. And there's a lot of people, that are very serious and have serious jobs and, are able to have that play, about them. That's a little different.
I think that's why I like it too, is because it's one of those ways that you can experience things through another lens, And I think that's kind of like MLK concert, or like experiencing things through other perspectives. And that's one of the things I'll watch different like documentaries on, is just like understanding little bits of things that people never had. Like growing up, I grew up northwest of Houston in the suburbs. You'd always hear, oh, you have to wait in line hours and hours to go vote in some places. And I was like, oh, nah, they vote in my elementary school. I've never seen more than 5 people in line. But then moving to a different side of town, you can see how that is true.
Yeah.
And, I'm now on the northeast side of town. I'm probably a little bit closer into town than I was on the northwest side. So I think I'm more urban of a location now. It's easily, for the first time ever, there's, 100 people in line waiting to vote. So it's like,
it's kind of crazy. Because I did experience that too. I did go out with a group to bring people snacks that were waiting in the line for a long time, because a lot of times people will get in line and then go, at the end of the day. So you want people to vote. You don't care how they vote, obviously, but you want people to vote. So, we definitely went out there and handed out snacks and talked with people and just kept them company, during that time. So the time passed a lot quicker, because if you're alone there, more than likely you're just going to drop out and you're not actually going to vote. And, that's a hard thing, because, we have the right to vote. We should exercise that as citizens, to be able to say, this is who I choose. Get out and vote, vote whoever you want to vote for, vote with education, vote with your heart, whatever.
Also, a lot of people don't know, if they can't find your voter registration on site and you're in the right place, you can also fill out a provisional ballot, which means that they're recording your ballot and that you've been there. Yeah. And then they'll figure out the administrative stuff on the back end later.
That's great.
And then you might need to, I don't know how that works. You might need to look that up. But basically, it gives you some chance of being able to vote versus just turning around and like leaving.
I mean, that is interesting, about the process, to vote and, going to, but I think that you can actually go anywhere and vote. Really. You don't have to be in the exact location.
I don't remember for primaries. I don't remember, honestly. Check out harrisvotes.org.
I think it is harrisvotes.org. Yeah.
For our area, Harris County. And then you also might want to just check on your registration as well, too.
Right.
I know a lot of states have been going through their voter rolls and like combing through them and kicking some people off or whatever. So just make sure that you're registered and what your address is and confirm all that. So
yeah, definitely. Well, good. Well, get out there and vote. You heard it first. No, you didn't hear it first here. I'm sure everybody else is saying that too. Maybe just a couple people.
Oh my God. I remembered I graduated high school in 2001.
Am I 2001? I am 2001 too. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I remembered for my government class, we had to stay up and watch the election and then write a paper about it.
Oh.
But that was the Gore-Bush election that
that
went
was
into Florida and all that. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why like so many people are jaded by voting.
It's funny because I was talking to my kiddo about it, and he said that they had like a mock voting type of thing just to teach, and I absolutely love that because like sometimes it is a little bit, especially for something that's like socially awkward or something like that, to go in, like what is the process, and it's like so official, and it feels kind of weird and like, oh, don't look, or that sort of thing.
It's like I was going to say the soup Nazi episode on Seinfeld where it's like you have to do this particular thing and you feel out of place if you don't know the structure, and if you've never gone to go vote before, then you don't know what it is. And then also it's vastly different depending on where you live. When I was in Connecticut, we still had flippy vote, so you would flip on this little like this layout, your votes, and then I think you pulled a lever and it punched all these holes to like record it on this paper strip in the back or something like that. And then I remembered in high school and college they had like the little spinny like
I remember the little
here,
spinny thing.
And then you would like spin to select someone.
Yep.
And then hit enter, and then it would go to the next person.
Right.
But I've also seen where you have like a Scantron where you bubble in who you're voting for.
Yep.
And you feed that into a bucket, and it records everything that way. So it's also very different depending on what area of the country you live in.
Yeah. So, what do you want everybody to know about you?
I think, we only get one lifetime. Try to make life better for yourself and other people.
I completely agree with that. I think that, and that's the reason why I'm in experience. I'm just trying to make things easier for people. I'm trying to, in my health coaching, I try to help people struggle less. I realize that life is a struggle, but I just want to help them struggle less in life, and that's my main thing.
How do you make it so you don't forget the wash in the washing machine?
Well, that's part of the thing. So I live and die by my calendar. So I have Google Calendar.
You put your days that you wash on your calendar?
I put down reminders. So if I need to be reminded of something, and of course, like on Google Calendar, if you put it on a certain day, it sticks in your reminders. So I can always go back. So every single day I'm scanning my reminders, and I'm like, I'm going to reschedule that to next week because I didn't, get to it or something. Or, I'll look and say, oh, I get to check that off, and kind of gives me that little dopamine hit. But yeah, I keep it all. I'm pretty organized, when it comes to that kind of stuff. But that is, if I forget something, it's probably because I didn't write it down.
Have you ever thought about one of those like big, like 20-inch displays for your kitchen that shows you all of your calendar?
I have a friend that has one of those.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
what do you think?
I'm so jealous of it.
Yeah?
Yeah, because she's got her whole family calendar, like all of that kind of stuff of all of these reminders and the appointments and things like that because she manages things for her husband.
You can see my calendar over there. It says December and January on it.
Love it. But yeah, I've seen that and I love that. And I really wish that my Google Calendar would integrate with my Amazon Alexa, because sometimes I'm sitting there like in the kitchen and I'll have my Alexa save a reminder, but then I have to go back to my computer and actually, or my phone, and actually put it in there. So if I don't have my phone on me, let's just say I'm cooking, dinner.
They don't integrate that way though?
Not Google and Amazon. They don't integrate.
That's
so
interesting.
I
would have thought it would have, because I feel like sometimes I get my Alexa to play Spotify when sometimes it wants to play Amazon Music.
Well, that's interesting because I have Amazon Music. I'm pretty sure that I have Apple Music. Just kidding. I don't have. Wait, do I have Amazon? No, I have Amazon Music.
Check your Alexa app. There might be some way to integrate them on the back.
And it would be really nice for me to be able to tell them, and because sometimes I'm on the.
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, tell us in the comments. How do you do it? Tell us. Because the thing is that
you want your Amazon Alexa and your Google to both have. Here's all your reminders you need to have at the same time.
I want to be able to talk to my Alexa and say, Alexa, remind me of the tasks that I have to do today. For my Google Calendar.
From your Google.
Right. Because the thing is, like sometimes, or hey, Alexa, when's my next meeting? Because I'll be downstairs and I'll be doing something. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, shoot, do I have a meeting in 15 minutes? And it's like, if I don't have my cell phone, this is one of the things that I try to do too, is that I try not to have my cell phone on me at all times. Although that kind of shoots my, like that kind of gets me sometimes because sometimes I really need it. Like I'll go to the corner store or something like that. And I'll be like, I don't need my phone. And then I get to the corner store and I realize, shit, I need my phone.
Yeah, I want to Apple Pay for something. Check this out. I have a phone that is the size of a business card.
Okay.
It's made by Palm.
Okay.
Which is not the same company that had the PDAs in the 90s.
So it's not owned by HP. It's another... Because Palm was owned by HP.
But I think these people were licensing Palm from Palm, I think. But anyway, they have like a business-sized card phone. And the idea is it's supposed to be like all of your essential things that you need from your phone.
Okay. But
not having full, hold on, I need to send you an email, or let me edit something on Canva or TikTok or whatever. Yeah. So the idea is you can still call people. Yeah. You can still watch Netflix on it, I think. I originally got mine in like 2018 or 2019. They may not exist anymore. Okay. I don't know. But the idea is you have this little tiny device and you can take that with you, and it gives you most of the things while being able to like kind of shut off some of it too.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'll have to check that out too. I've got lots of homework to do apparently from this podcast. In fact, I've got some homework to do for you guys. So, all right.
Yeah.
I think we had a pretty good conversation here. I don't know. I always awkwardly end the podcast in a weird way. So,
play the music.
Play the music. Cue the music.